We're back. We just had an earthquake and I lost transmission, but now we're on our way to the seismic lab. You must be Pavlov. Don't have time for you right now. I gotta go to the seismic lab and get... Oh, for crying out loud!
As if news of meteoroid impending doom wasn't enough, we obviously have just had an earthquake.
Yes, we have.
Let's check in with reporter Corinne Kawabi. Corinne?
Chet, initial reports indicate a magnitude of 5.5 with an epicenter in a remote part of the North Cascade Mountains.
There could have been some casualties, but those aren't nearly as important to report as the magnitude and epicenter of the earthquake are.
Are you there? Chet!
I was just, checking the underside of the desk and I thought I left some gum there.
Your gum's not there, but your dignity sure is. Now, as I've been trying to say, we need to get to the fault finder and seismograph, which is not that thing. Stupid mouse controls. Here we go. How'd this work again?
We can tell how far away the quake was by measuring the gap between the waves.
That's right. So I think we just drag the S-wave bar here. Then the P-wave bar goes here.
Good job! Yeah, that quake happened about 250 kilometers away from the lab, somewhere on that circle. Now, to figure out which direction those waves came from, fire up the old fault finder and call some of the other seismic labs around the world. We'll be talking later. Yeah, now, the jawbone is connected to the what bone?
Nice to see somebody making good use of their time. Oh, it is 250 kilometers away. Sam was right. But what do the other labs say?
Konnichiwa. We have registered an earthquake approximately 7,001 kilometers away.
It's one circle.
Buenos dias. Our seismographs are telling us there was recently an earthquake 10,301 kilometers from here.
There's 2. This'll be 3.
G'day, mate. Auckland here, with a report of an earthquake. Sensors show it was approximately 11,449 kilometers away.
And I suppose I'll have to talk to Mr. L.A. Moron next. Oh, no need. We have enough circles to pinpoint where the disturbance in the force is coming from. Or I mean you know what I mean. From Sam. Alright, conquakulations. You figured out where the epicenter was. Right where the 3 circles cross. I'm going to head out to that area and see if I can find anything that can help us with these riddles. Why don't you see if you can figure out one of the other riddles? Okay, so I assume he's gonna find us the answer for that riddle about the beast that's a rock now, so we'll hold off on solving that one. Ah, the Nilab Skylab, which we can't enter without a password. Never mind, let's do something else. Here's a place. What is it, Bill?
It's the pressure chamber of science! You can use it to see what pressure does to different things.
If I could go in there, I'd be able to answer the question, how well do I work under pressure?
Close the door, then hit the buttons to increase or decrease the pressure inside. Have a blast! Oh, I don't mean to put any pressure on you here, but pressure's pretty powerful stuff, so be careful.
There is a way to blow this thing up, but we're not going to do that.
Cool. Pressure is cool. But let's face it, we're all under pressure every day.
Yeah, I think Queen and David Bowie actually had a song about that.
Pressure. And air pressure pushes in all directions all the time. There's 5 million billion kilograms. I said 5 million billion kilograms of air. About 900 kilograms of air are pressing down on you, me, and all of us right now. It's about the weight of a car pushing down on our heads. We don't feel it because it's pushing in all directions at once. Besides, we were born here. We're used to it. Impressive, huh?
So by the time you're born, you're already able to lift 900 kilograms. Good to know. In our cabinet, we've got... Is that a cat?
Well, I see you've met Schrodinger, the lab cat of science. What's the deal? Don't you like cats? Or are you just trying to put the ow and meow.
You just wait till PETA hears about this, Bill. Let's put something in here that won't get us convicted of animal abuse. Like this little boombox. Open the door. In you go. Alright, let's make the song playing really blow up. Nothing. Okay then, we'll decrease the pressure until the radio implodes upon itself. Or we can get the song to stop playing. That works too.
Finally, some peace and quiet.
At least until you started talking, Bill.
Anyway, as you can see, the radio is still on, but we can't hear it. Did you hear me?
Yes, Bill, I did not go deaf.
Isn't that cool? It's because you made the pressure so low, you removed almost all the air in the chamber. You made a vacuum. A vacuum is a place where there's no air, no water, no nothing. And that means no pressure. Since sound waves move through molecules like the ones in air, water, or something solid, when there's no air in the chamber, there's no sound.
Right, let's put something else in the chamber. Release this. And your song is over. Now the styrofoam cup. I think the way to do this is decrease the pressure first. Okay, we'll increase it then. It's the incredible shrinking styrofoam cup of science.
Huh?
Wow! Is that a cup for munchkins?
Nah, I'm pretty sure the Lollipop Guild have their own specialized mugs.
The styrofoam cup is made of plastic filled with tiny air bubbles. When you increase the pressure, it smushed those air bubbles and shrank the cup.
Do you normally hear a slide whistle when you shrink a styrofoam cup in a pressure chamber? Actually, I think if you search YouTube, you'll be able to find people who put styrofoam cups and other objects in pressure chambers. And we can't revert the cup back to its original size. Well, maybe somebody could use it as a shot glass if they're not picky. And in with the balloon. Well, increased pressure causes the balloon to deflate. Kind of like my serotonin levels under the same circumstances.
Huh?
You raised the pressure and the balloon got smaller. The air in the balloon got smushed together until the air pressure inside the balloon was the same as the air pressure in the chamber. They're perfect for really small parties.
A party that hands out balloons like this deserves to be small. Well, what do you know? It popped.
Whoa, it's a poppin' pressure party! You lowered the pressure, and the balloon got bigger until it popped!
Do you have, like, thumbtacks on your elbow, Bill?
And the air can expand. It presses on the balloon from the inside and stretches it out until it popped! Cool. So next time you're having a party with balloons, think pressure!
There's definitely pressure to think about at a party with balloons, but it's not the force per unit of area kind of pressure. All I'm left with now is a rock, just like Charlie Brown after trick-or-treating. Beaker in the chamber, what do you do? Can we increase pressure an atmosphere or two? Nothing at all. Let's go the other way. That doesn't rhyme at all. Forget it, I can't make up lyrics on the fly.
Huh?
Tea, anyone? When you lowered the pressure, the water, which was at room temperature, started to boil. But the water didn't get that hot. Wild. Air in the room presses down on the water. That pressure keeps most of the water molecules from evaporating, turning into vapor. But here, the pressure above the water molecules is low, so water molecules can escape from the liquid easily.
I believe this is why cooking instructions differ at higher altitudes to account for that lessened air pressure.
Iced tea.
I can't imagine any tea brewed in a pressure chamber would taste great. Alrighty, one more thing in the pressure chamber. and it's an altimeter. Do altimeters actually look like this?
Huh?
That's a high-pressure situation.
Not unlike being asked to give an impromptu speech in front of 100 students.
Acts like it's underwater. On the surface of the Earth, the atmosphere presses down on us with a lot of pressure. But if you move closer to the center of the Earth, there's even more stuff, more air or water or land above you, pushing down. So as you get closer to the center of the Earth, the pressure gets higher and higher. Just think of it this way. Deeper and deeper means higher and higher. Pressure.
Yeah, now one of our riddles mentioned pressure. This one. I think this gives us a clue as to where to find the answer to this riddle. That's an impressive idea, so if you can get closer to the center of the Earth, it would take us deeper into this riddle. Press on. Right, done with pressure, let's move on to something else. Close the door. No, I don't want to perform another experiment. I want you to stay closed. Close. Fine, make me look like an irresponsible employee. I'm gonna be moving up in the world. Or at least up to this part of the lab. What have we here?
Huh?
This is the Weatherator.
The Weatherator? Sounds almost like a Dr. Doofenshmirtz invention.
Two choices. The temperature of the air and the temperature of the water that you want to start with. That's the now side. Then choose the temperatures you want the air and water to change to. That's the later side. Then hit the go button and see what happens. The Weatherator is wild.
Okay, pretty straightforward operation. Now let's see what's cool about it.
Weather is cool and hot, whether you like it or not. See, whether you like the weather, that's a joke.
We get it, Bill. Where's the announcer? That should be his line.
Model of the Earth's atmosphere. I mean, we can't put the entire atmosphere in here. There's trillions of liters of air.
You'd also cause everybody outside the lab to suffocate if you did that.
Clouds, or my personal favorite, rain.
Hey, a bit of slapstick directed at Bill.
Love it.
Nice. I personally would have used ripe tomatoes, but water works too. Now, start up the Weatherator, and let's see. We'll do cool air and warm water to start with, and then we'll flip them around afterwards. And let's see what happens. What's this? What the Weatherator does best is make clouds from water. But the water vapor doesn't form a cloud by itself. No, it needs to hitch a ride on something, like dust. In fact, if it weren't for dust particles, there'd almost never be any clouds or fog. Wild. So dust in the wind actually does have a purpose. Take that, Kansas, with your song. Ooh, it's raining in there. And now it looks like it's fogging over. What'd we do here?
Cool.
Now I have to read all that out. By making the air cool and water warm, lots of water evaporated, turned into vapor and flew up into the air. When the water vapor cooled down in the air, it condensed into clouds and rain. But later, when you heated the air back up and cooled the water down, the high clouds evaporated and reformed right above the water, as fog. Okay, now let's try it the other way around. Let's start with the air warm, the water cool, and then we'll make the water warm and the air cool. And now we made it rain. Cool.
Cool.
You started out with warm air and cool water. Good conditions for fog. Now, fog is made of tiny liquid water droplets that just hang around low in the air. That's what scientists like you and me call fog.
Don't use such big words, Bill. This game is for kids, after all.
Water evaporated from below and then chilled out in the sky. That made clouds form higher up in the chamber. And the high clouds made rain. High clouds and rain.
Bill, don't demonstrate clouds and rain in the conference room. You're getting the carpet wet. Now, when Bill said chilled out in the sky, it reminded me of this riddle. So I think we have ourselves another clue here.
Hey, a cloud is a big mass of hot air and water vapor that chills out. And it can form with water from the ocean or lake.
Yep.
Now find some clouds that strike with a blast, and do it fast.
I'm working on it. With that, I think you know what the answer to that riddle is, but I think the game wants us to look for an actual thunderstorm, not one we're simulating in here. I'm just going to run through a couple more tests with this thing. I know we have our clue, I just like playing with it. Now, when everything's warm and then becomes cool, what happens? More storms.
Cool.
At first,
Bill, are you going to get more water thrown at you because... Oh, he's in the kitchen. That'll be easier to clean up.
but later, you made the air cool down. As the air cooled, the water vapor molecules cooled too. They slowed down, and some of them stuck together. Then they condensed back into liquid water droplets to form clouds. And then, rain. Oh yeah, love that rain.
Somebody better have a mop handy when Bill does these demonstrations. Now we're starting with everything cool and warming it up. That was crap. I'm not ending on that one. Let's do a different one. Okay, last one. We're going to start off with everything being cool, but then the water's going to warm up and the air's going to stay cool. How you like them beans? Yes, we got a storm.
Cool.
But not a video. You started off with cool air and cool water, so not much water got warm enough to evaporate into the air. Later on, you made the water warm and the air cool, which allowed water to evaporate into the air where it chilled out into clouds and rain. Okay, we've already gotten our clue from this one, so let's shut it off and move on. Get a nice view of the lab from up here. See a doghouse and a poster of Pavlov there. Oh, there's Mercury, Venus, Earth right in front of us. Where's Mars? I don't see it there. Maybe if we go here and turn, that's Jupiter. Oh, there's Mars. Hard to see it against the red brick background there. There's a poster of Pangaea on the wall over here. Or no, Pangaea was the big landmass that was made up of all the continents. I think this is after it got split up. I forgot what it was called after that. Ah, now I think one of our riddles mentioned mountains that are tallest. Well, Mount Everest here is the tallest mountain on Earth. But, oh, Mauna Kea is taller than Mount Everest. It's just that 60% of it is underwater. So as far as tallest mountains go, I guess the game is measuring in terms of base to peak height, regardless of sea level. Either way, we now have a clue for riddle number 4. Aloha! The tallest mountain on Earth from base to peak actually stands on the seafloor. That could be a really important clue. Well, now we have a clue for one of the other riddles. Let me just turn back and see if there's anything I missed here. Nope, just a volcano poster. There's Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. I think they forgot to color Uranus. It's supposed to be aquamarine, not white like here. Where's Pluto now? It was still a planet when this game was made. I see a string to hang it from right there, but I don't see Pluto itself. Well, I guess considering this has all the planet's sizes to scale, Pluto doesn't show up very well from any of the angles in which I can view. Oh wait, here's Pluto, and there's Charon with it. Why are they both in a cage, though?
Huh?
Psst. Want to see something shocking?
No, I do not want to do anything that would arouse the suspicions of the FBI.
Generator! This is where we can generate static electricity. You probably know about static electricity already, like when you rub your feet on a carpet and touch someone.
Was that from the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel?
Static electricity with the Van de Graaff generator.
What?
But don't take my word for it. Pull the lever. It's shocking.
Pull the lever, Bronk.
Hey, if Bill can interrupt himself with random movie clips, so can I.
The Van de Graaff generator is not cool. No, it's hot. Because it's full of things rubbing on each other.
With enough alcohol, a college frat party can turn out the same way.
Electricity flows when tiny things called electrons move from one place to another. Now inside the big pole of the Van de Graaff generator is a belt.
This pole is not intended for use by any strip club.
To the large globe.
Actually, a Van de Graaff generator in a strip club would be quite a unique attraction for it. Not a real one, but, you know.
Things stay kind of quiet. Fewer electrons. That's called a separation of charge. But when too many electrons get together, they can't stand it. They just want to get away from each other.
Just like with people at large family gatherings.
They'll try to go there. Now they're in the smaller globe, where they can really party.
Don't have a seizure on us, Bill. And don't give me one either. Alright, now we can pull the lever. Bill?
There's a buzz in the air. Can you feel it? It's the Van de Graaff generator. This thing will shock you. It's just like a lightning storm.
If you were going to be physically present to explain how this works to us, Bill, what was the point of the 2 video segments in the Nikon?
Then zap across to the other globe, which has a positive charge. It's the same thing that causes lightning. Negative electrons build up in one part of a cloud until there are so many of them they can't stay together. They jump to wherever there are fewer electrons, like the ground. That's when we see... Whoa, I get a charge out of this stuff.
Bit of a delayed reaction there, Bill. Alright, that's all we can do with the Van de Graaff generator. Let's go here. We still can't go in the Skylab. Who would graffiti the periodic table of elements on a wall like this? Some nerdy graffiti artist, that's who. Moving right along. Hang on here. I think I see a room I forgot to do downstairs. Yeah, the Ocean Comm Center. I should have done this earlier. There's a dolphin on the wall, and some buoys, and a scuba tank. We must be in the right place.
Huh?
Welcome to the nerve center of NILAB's Oceanic Studies. The Ocean Comm Center! This is where we fish for answers about the ocean.
Put that poor fish back in his tank, Bill.
So you can see what's happening with the wind, ocean currents, and living things in the sea. You can use the ship-to-shore satellite uplink to contact Swell Whitecat. He's the captain of the Poseidon II.
With how many things use the name Nye in them, I'm surprised they didn't call it the Nye-tanic. Of course, that would probably be a pretty harrowing name for a ship.
Ocean Comm Center, good buddy. Over. Roger. Nye out.
Yeah, it would seem as though the approaching meteoroid is causing Bill to lose his sanity.
Cool.
Oceans are cool, and wet, and big.
And various other applicable adjectives.
Earth's surface. All the rain that falls, all the water we drink, even all the water in our bodies, all of it started out in the ocean. And the oceans are filled with hundreds of thousands of different living things. The ocean is huge, a mysterious place with plenty more to discover.
Yeah, I think I've heard it said that we actually know more about the surface of the moon than we do about the oceans. Oh, hey Bill, you forgot to point out the rubber duck here. Oh, looks like we're going to hear about it now. Hey, you found the rubber duck ocean current indicator of science. Now you might be asking yourself, why would a scientist be interested in rubber ducks? Well, back in 1992, a cargo ship spilled 7,220 toy rubber ducks into the North Pacific Ocean. Big deal, right? Sure is. You see, the ducks get carried along by ocean currents just like a boat gets carried along by river currents. In fact, ocean currents are a lot like rivers. They're like rivers in an ocean. Anyway, by following where the ducks float, scientists have been able to learn a lot more about ocean currents. For example, a lot of the ducks are now frozen in the Arctic ice, and one day they'll thaw out and end up in the Atlantic. So because of those ducks, we know more about the ocean. Doesn't that just quack you up? Well, aside from the bad pun right at the end there, that actually is a pretty amazing piece of information. So if you happen to live along the Pacific coast and you've found a rubber duck at the seaside, maybe that's why.
Even though we can't see it, the bottom of the ocean is just as wild as the land we live on. There are steep hills, deep canyons,
The lost city of Atlantis.
huge mountains. Of course, you can't ski in those mountains.
Unless you're a character in SpongeBob SquarePants.
But that's on the water. That's not on the mountains. Anyway, all those cracks you see are fractures in the Earth's crust. It's broken up into huge tectonic plates.
Yeah, we kind of learned about the tectonic plates already before we came in here.
I bet it'd be some great skiing on those mountains, though. Of course, you'd have to drain the ocean, and then it would have to snow. And that's pretty complicated because, I mean...
Bill, you're rambling.
Where would you get all the water for the snow?
Cut.
For the skiing or sledding?
Cut.
But they're...
Somebody cut him off. Alright, that's the ocean floor map. Now let's take a look at the ocean temperature map.
Huh?
It might not seem like it, but the ocean is one of the best places for the Earth to store the sun's heat energy. Now, water can hold on to heat for a long time.
I think that's because water has a high specific heat. Something to learn about if you take thermodynamics.
So the water there is usually the warmest. Now, warm water at the equator expands a little and gets pushed up by cooler water flowing in from deeper parts of the ocean. We call this kind of heat circulation convection. As the heat gets moved around the world, it changes the weather. The temperature of the ocean affects almost everything on the planet.
Now we have a plankton map?
Huh?
You are about to meet the most plentiful things in the sea. There are trillions and trillions of them. They're everywhere.
And one of them wants the Krabby Patty secret formula.
They may be small, but practically every living thing in the ocean depends on them to survive. There are two types of plankton. Phytoplankton, that's plant plankton, and zooplankton, that's animal plankton. And animal plankton eats plant plankton.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't most species of zooplankton bigger than most species of phytoplankton? I'm not 100% sure on that. The sound effect kind of makes my skin crawl a bit.
Huh?
Ocean water is constantly moving in huge streams called currents. See, the ocean doesn't just sit there.
What you just saw was the disappointing bathtub of science.
Wind blowing over the surface of the water. But not all currents come from the wind. Changes in temperature and saltiness of ocean water drive currents too. Currents are crucial. Most living things depend on ocean currents.
You can't let that poor fish live, Bill.
Keep current on your currents.
Get it? Current events. Anyway, they mentioned currents are like rivers, so I think we have another clue here for this riddle. From Sue. Powerful currents are like rivers, but what about the rest of the riddle? Don't rush me, okay? We're only halfway through day one here.
Huh?
Above the ocean, there's another ocean, an ocean of air, the atmosphere. As the sun shines down, the Earth's surface gets warm. That warms the air, especially near the equator. Cooler air from the north and south pushes the warm air up and flows in underneath to take its place. This cycle is called convection.
With how many times they've mentioned convection now, I think you can tell why they have a character with the name Convection here.
Whoa!
What's this lunch map here? It's only 6 dots. What are those? Places to eat?
Huh?
What you've got here is a map of all the places where Swell Whitecap has lost his lunch. Environmental protection regulations require that we include this map in the lab. You can send Swell to one of those places, but you do so at the risk of a relapse. Personally, I'd avoid those areas. I mean, yuck. Gross. Grody. Ew. Duly noted. We won't send Swell there. Okay, I don't want to talk to Swell just yet. I want to take a look at the other equipment here to see if any of it can help us.
Huh?
Yep, this here's the sonic net. It's like a radio. We use it to listen in on what's happening under the sea.
You mean we can't use it to catch Sonic the Hedgehog?
Hydrophones. To listen, just twist the sea sounder dial until you hear something. When you hear an unusual sound, hit the What's It button to see what the computer thinks it is. If you want to find out where the sound is coming from, hit the Where's It button. It's just like talk radio, only these talk shows have fins. And they don't yell all the time, and they actually...
You know, a group of whales is called a pod, so if you're using a hydrophone to listen to them, aren't you technically listening to a podcast? This game's humor is infecting me.
The sonic net is cool because sound travels better through water than through air. In fact, there's a section of the ocean about 500 to 800 meters deep that scientists call the sound channel. This is where we can hear sounds from thousands of kilometers away.
I think these days, if you try to search for the sound channel on YouTube, you're just going to get a bunch of ASMR videos.
You know what I'm saying about sound and water? Can you hear me? Huh?
Yep, Bill's lost his mind. We may not get much more help from him in this game. Now, let's see what we can hear with the sonic net. Ow! That's annoying. What is that? Beluga Whales. Now I need to find out where they live so I can avoid that place. Sector A2, close to Alaska. Oh, no wonder that's not a heavily populated state. Now that's gotta be some kind of big whale. It is. A bowhead whale, which I assume they're bigger than beluga whales. And look, they live up kinda near the same place. What's this? It's an underwater earthquake. Where is it, though? It's in Sector B6. I kind of want to see what's there now. Maybe an answer to one of our riddles. Okay, I think I know what this is. A humpback whale. Yeah, they're the ones that have the kind of mournful calls. And where are these humpbacks? Sector E3. I think that's by Hawaii. Which is also where Mauna Kea is. Better keep that in mind. Now, what's the fifth one? It's Orcas! And where are the Orcas? Sector B6. So it would seem as though Willie hasn't gone far since his debut film. At least I think that's where the movie Free Willy took place, around the northwestern United States. Oh, now we got a periscope here. Or rose.
Huh?
Nice rose, huh? No, not this one. This one. The remotely operated submersible explorer. She's aboard the Poseidon II.
You know, if this game were made after 1997, then Bill could have probably made a Titanic joke or two here.
Once you get Swell to launch her, you can use the control to choose the depth you want her to dive to. Watch the picture she sends back, and you might see something cool. If you do, just hit the What's It button to help you figure out what it is.
It would seem as though Nye Labs has taken to identifying objects under the sea by means of the Little Mermaid's terms.
Cool.
Bill kind of already mentioned what's cool about this, but let's read this anyway. The rose is cool because it lets us see things we could never see before. No human could withstand the pressure of kilometers of ocean pushing down on them, but a robot sub can. Take her down. Check it out! Okay, we can't really deploy that until we talk to Swell first, so let's go over here and do that.
Oh, hi. Oops. Ahoy, matey. Arr, Swell Whitecap. Standing by to help you scientists in whatever way I can.
I can do many things. Dance a jig. Play with me parrot.
Please don't do either of those things when you're on camera, Swell.
Now I can go to a destination of your liking. Deploy me sensors. Launch the remote-controlled sub. Or give you a report from wherever I be.
So, what is it you want me to do?
Arr!
Alright, let's send him someplace.
Arr! Lost!
You're in for a lot of trouble if you have your parrot sitting on your binoculars like that, Swell.
That meteoroid in yonder sky be approaching.
Oh yeah, we also have the meteoroid to worry about. Bet you kinda forgot that, huh?
I can only go this far in one day. So choose a place I can sail to that's within range. All you gotta do is select the letter and number of the sector you want, and I'll go there. Why, like a hungry rat in a messy galley. I be holding steady in Sector C5. What do you want me to do?
If you'll shut up, I will send you someplace. Now, let's see. I think I'm gonna send him to Sector B6. That's where the underwater earthquake and the Orcas were. I just want to see what's there.
Aye, labs.
Whoa, why is time speeding up all of a sudden? Don't do that, Swell. Let's get out of here. Okay, back to where we were before we entered the Ocean Comm Center. Let's go in here. All these pictures and stuff on the wall. Who's this guy with Bill right here? All vacations canceled until further notice due to approaching meteoroid. You mean I have to put off my trip to Guam just because a big space rock is gonna hit us? This is so inconvenient. Just for that, I'm going into the kitchen to eat all your food. Oh, Bill's got a to-do list on the fridge here. Walk Pavlov, get bagels, exercise sense of wonder, dust planets, save world. So getting bagels and exercising your sense of wonder is more important to you than saving the world is, Bill? I can't help but feel I'm just being used. What's in our fridge? A T-bone steak, cans of soda, whatever's in that bowl there, and something there. And nothing in the freezer. Well, raiding the fridge was a complete bust. Anything over here? Nope. Looks like hamburgers on that mobile right there. Well, there's a TV over here, which I can't turn on. Now, let's go with... Wait. The stove is right here.
Huh?
Hey, smell that? That's the scent of science.
I don't know, the scent of pizza makes me think more of college dorms and life's disappointments than science. Now you've kind of made me want pizza. Thanks a lot, Bill.
Huh?
Cool.
Kitchens are cool because they're filled with heat.
How that makes sense is beyond the scope of my understanding.
See, the hotter something is, the faster its molecules are moving.
With how many times they mention molecules in this game, I'm surprised they don't have a character named Molecule or whatever.
Eggplant has faster moving molecules than frozen eggplant on a stick.
Oh, Bill, if Gordon Ramsay were here now, he'd be sticking a piece of bread over each of your ears and calling you an idiot sandwich. Time to play with the stove. Kids, don't try this at home. Ah, that was scary. Not really.
Oh,
What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be down in the ocean lab or something right now?
Because the air molecules inside it start moving faster and spreading out. The molecules push on the balloon and make it bigger and bigger until... Whoa!
Isn't she just amazing?
It's fun. It's science.
Is there like an elevating platform right outside that kitchen window there? Alrighty, 2 clear pots here, but I can't tell what's in each one of them. Might as well figure it out by putting them on the stove.
Gooey cheese.
Does everybody in the lab just come by to watch me cook things?
Melt into a liquid. What started out as hard cheese became this, fondue goo. When it cools, it hardens.
It can also bubble over and get burned on the stove. Are you prepared to clean up that mess, Bill? Alright, let's take this off the burner. Oh hey! Can you guys hear that? When I touch it without turning the stove off, I go, ouch! Well, good thing about this game is it's teaching kitchen safety. What do we got here? Boiling water.
Hey there, soldier of science. Time to sound off about my good friend convection.
Oh, please,
When
no.
water heats up, it expands. Just like a stretchy rubber band.
Hey, Connie, there's a no singing in the lab policy. You might want...
Heat up.
You're not going to listen to me.
Heat up. Expand. So, as the water heats up, it turns into an invisible gas. Water vapor. When the vapor leaves the liquid water in the pot, it carries not just some water, but heat away with it too. The water goes round and round in the cycle we scientists like to call heat convection.
That's not exactly a military secret. You don't need to look around to see who's listening.
I see you've met convection.
How could you tell?
What's up with the atmosphere? If you'd like to find out more about convection and Connie, check out the Skylab. The access code is Nimbus. Keep up the good work.
Ah, the one good thing we get out of being in here. The access code to the Skylab. Now I know where we need to go next. Is there anything else here I missed? What happens if I look down? Pavlov? How'd you get up here so fast? You're not really a clue for anything. Don't have time for you right now. I gotta go to the Skylab. NIMBUS, let us in.
Well, well, look who's got the right stuff. You made it into the NILAB Skylab. Have a blast.
And so, with that, we enter the Skylab. What will we find in here? Will we ever answer any riddles? Will Planetary IM's net worth ever exceed $1 million? The answers to all those questions, except probably that last one, will be in Part 4.